So, last we had seen our valiant heroes. They were, Ravandil had managed new ways of disappointing everyone around him in every possible way, shape, and form. And Shafnium had found out more information on where some missing pieces of Nurse Scalpel were, and Paws had found out that someone might have information on her tribe, while Donner was apparently requested by the Arcane College. And Hess kind of has to go look at what the old grandmotherly lady of the Church of Clock did and why she's in jail.
I mean, didn't she just slather everything in bird poop?
Yeah, she did, but
Time to bust the lady out of jail. Let's go.
so where do you go first? The Grandmaster of Elemental Order lets you leave without problems. All of you, even Ravandil, who's made a scene of himself.
Rabbi, you idiot.
And you are outside on the streets. So where do you go next?
Okay. Let's rob their bank.
Like, just
We
there's
just
this
got a
in front of
laundry
the
list of
Grandmaster.
objectives, and
Wait,
then,
wait.
hey, let's rob a bank.
Yeah, just out of the blue, I just say it to you guys. What? Let's
That's
rob
against
their
the law.
bank. There are many
Not
things
that
that
the
are
law in
against
these
the law.
faithless lands means much to me, but still.
Generally, slavery is illegal, but I don't see them stopping.
Yes, that is true.
And we're not necessarily abided by their laws anyway.
But don't we need their help to kill all the bad guys? Did I get that wrong?
So,
Looks
so I,
over at Ravandil, like, isn't that what we're doing?
Shaft
They
offers
should-
her a thumbs up. No, listen, hear me out. We have no money,
Yes, we do.
and these people are assholes.
Well, also true, yes.
Wait,
If we rely on assholes to save us from other assholes like those cultists, then the things that they have in common become more normal, and more people will do those things. So it's actually more harmful for us not to screw these people over now. First it was the elementals, and I said nothing.
That sounds like a very complex problem that doesn't really have any easy solution, but rather requires society.
You could find a golden chicken egg.
Oh, let's rob a bank.
That's two for it. Who else? Ravi, you want to help us rob a bank?
You know what? Why the fuck not? My life's already ruined anyway. What's even little more disappointment?
All right. We already are. We're building a majority here, but we got to get it unanimous. So, Kai.
Oh wait, it's Paws of Green.
It's pause.
That dingus.
just found out about freaking circle going up in flames. I kind of want to find some cultists and blow them up. I'm pretty sure it's them.
Yes, perhaps we should complete these objectives first before we begin robbing the bank.
Yeah, and I have an idea. I mean, there's
That's
a
fair.
right? We can just, get our parts, a good fight, kill some people, get some money.
I mean, we might as well have a reason to, rob a bank.
Oh,
And we
there's
can
a-
say that they're being funded by,
yes.
when we inevitably find
Oh
out
yeah.
about,
Alternatively-
funding cultists.
Alternatively, these cultists, they're worshippers of mammon. The being of greed and avarice. And every single one of the cultist locations we've gone to, they've had a massive pile of gold. like a stupid amount of it, as much as they could possibly get. Now, what I propose is that they're going to hit the bank before they hit anywhere else because they want that gold. So if we steal from the bank, we'll foil the plans of the cult and catch them in the act and kneecap them before they can begin their real operation. Every place we've gone to has been oppressively poor because of them, before falling into a state of chaos.
And then we stole the gold and just left with it.
Yes, but we could steal it before they even come here.
So the result would be the same. The area would still fall into crippling poverty.
And it won't. And it would be our fault this time.
But the cult wouldn't know that, and they'd be blamed for it.
So,
And
feel
all
like-
the cultists who came to take that gold for the glory of their overlord Mammon
I think
are fucked because they have to go back and say that they couldn't find any of it. They won't know that they succeeded. And they're gonna go report to Mammon, someone that they promised money to, that they couldn't do it. I don't know about that.
Also, there's the problem. Even if we say successfully break to a bank, I take all the money. Where are we going to put it? Our pockets?
yes.
I have Dimension Door.
Oh,
Uh,
that sounds. Do you have dimension
Are you
door?
planning on just
Hold on.
burying the gold? Because we have nothing to carry it with.
We're going to take Dimension Door, and then we're gonna port it across the country. So I make one Dimension Door there, and I have it go as far as my line of sight, rinse and repeat.
Isn't the dimension door like 800 feet? or
No,
something?
500 feet.
500 feet, even less.
That's still pretty far to carry a massive pile of gold.
Yes.
And if we
but-
do it underground, we can just slow the journey a little and push it forward.
Okay, another thing. You notice that, well, we have anti-magic. And, in case you don't remember, teleportation doesn't work on
In here,
Shura,
yeah.
which means Dimension Door is also a teleportation spell, which means it doesn't work.
Yes,
So we can't use
really-
Dimension Door to take all the gold.
You can't
We
use
can steal
dimension
some
door
of
at
it.
all.
Yes,
Oh.
but let's table this discussion for now and go do some stuff.
Alright, let's do stuff.
So, where do you want to go first? To find the history of Paws tribe? To go to the Arcane College and listen to Donner getting insulted? Maybe, who knows? Trying to recover the missing pieces of Shaft's nurse scalpel? Or in general keep on mocking Ravandil for his inability to not be a disappointment?
I mean,
Our closest lead to the cultists was that the college was acting shady, right? I am pretty sure it's a fucking cultist.
It's the college of the shrine. Both
Yeah.
actually. So, who
So,
do we begin with?
College?
Wait.
Donor? What do
Oh
you
yeah, college. They want Donald college. Was it he asked?
yes. Donner, lead the way.
Okay.
All right. On the way, I'm just going to practice my I'll show them all speech.
Alright. So,
We were
So are-
fools. You can
Are
buy
we
me.
going to, are we going to pose as Donner's students or his minions?
is there a difference?
I mean,
I'm down for
not to
minion.
Donner, so
No.
I am totes down for minion.
I
He's alive.
So, as you head for the Arcane College, you see that in the inner circle, the vast majority of people who actually walk through are either rich wizards, filthy rich wizards, or and every now and then you see an elemental of earth just trudging about, cleaning the roads themselves, and they actually kind of swim through the rock, not damaging any single piece of it.
handy.
As you pass them by, you reach the Arcane College, who apparently turns out to be a circle of stones.
Oh.
Like, you see this kind of wide field and a set of monoliths standing in a circle on one end of it.
Okay. Do we see anyone here?
You every now and then you see someone coming in or out of a stone circle.
Uh-huh. So I guess the teleportation device.
We're still within the city, are we?
Yes, it's here.
Okay.
Yes, but to cross, you will have to find a way around the lava lake.
Which doesn't.
Since-
Yeah, it's. You see Hess holding onto a piece of paper with a drawing of some red lines, and she looks at you and she's like, "This lava lake is unassailable." And
Ah, fuck!
Sorry, keep going.
Okay, hold on. Everyone.
Oh no,
who's
I'm
crossed-
trapped.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Donner, you were so young.
What? Your speech has gone to waste.
All right. Can we just assume that's a teleportation circle, or do you want
you
to
could no, you could actually assume it's a teleportation circle, and all you need to do is step inside.
Well, it's made of stone, right?
Yes, it's a set of monoliths that form a circle, and you can step inside through the gaps in the monolith.
Hold on. Let me just check some quick.
Hey, Rav,
I
where's your
am
token?
going to try to cast meld into stone.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I step into the circle and meld into the stone.
Well, technically, the moment you step into the circle, you are no longer there.
Ah,
You
fuck, I
find
guess.
yourself standing in a what appears to be an entrance hall of sorts, with a metal ring below you, which is quite wide, perhaps as wide as the monolith circle. And you see there are people buzzing themselves around, and ghostly-like valets bringing papers and parchment to the right and to the left, while near the entrance there is a desk where a posh-looking, you'd say it's a butler, but you know, he's wearing a black suit, a white shirt, a monocle, is happily reading from a trashy novel. And everyone else's donors just disappear as he steps through the monolith circle.
Wait, did Donner go through?
Wait, no.
No, wait,
I-
who was? Hess, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, and you see Hess disappear through. Yeah, I had meld with stone, and I was like, wait, meld with stone, yeah.
Alright,
That's it.
so I need to ask something.
Oh.
I mean, I just realized that Hess went inside with Gallia. I mean, will teleportation with two people just, create this...
No.
No, that doesn't work.
Has the chicken hybrid?
Yeah,
She would want that. You know that, right?
yeah, I know.
If you cast meld into stone and then walk through a portal that takes you to this other place, would you immediately fall into the stone floor and meld
No.
into it?
No, you have to consciously meld into the thing.
So Shafnium, meanwhile, is kind of saying, Donner, no, he's been erased from existence. No, wait, it was Hess. Oh god, where should it go?
I like to imagine that the teleportation circle isn't instantaneous, and you can just see parts of her disintegrating.
No, it's actually instantaneous. It's like, pop in, you're no longer there.
Alright.
So, as you popped in into this entrance, the butler of this place, the entrance manager, whatever it could be, looks at you from his trashy novel, which he closes, and then says, "And what are you doing here? Do you need a hand?
I stepped on a circle.
Yes, this is the Arcane College, and the entrance is a teleportation circle.
Oh, wait, I thought teleportation was banned in the city of Shurazund.
Yes, it is, except for us.
So wait, can I use extra dimensional powers here?
No, you cannot. We are the one in charge of ensuring nobody can teleport in or out, and we decide what instead is allowed. So we use that specific teleportation cycle to make sure nothing pops in unannounced into our college.
Wait, where is this place?
Well, technically, it's a personal demi-plane created by the Archmage Shurazund back in the good old days. And now, it's, it's still a personal demi-plane, but it's mostly used as an arcane college to educate the young, the old, those who have the knowledge, those who seek the power in the arcane arts. But, are you here to learn, or are you here because you're lost and you were playing with a monolith?
I am here to teach. Tell me, good sir, have you heard the word?
Wait, everyone else, do you step inside of a teleportation circle, or are you just standing out?
I think Shaft is gonna poke it with his toe or something to try and see what did it, and then he just gets flushed right over.
So,
Donner's
Shafnium...
gonna stride confidently in.
Alright, so as S is about to say, what is, have you heard, I'm here to teach, you see Shafnium emerge, like looking puzzled, and instead Donner just walking confidently through. Paws and Ravandil?
Yeah, Paws
just
just follows
take the-
behind Donner.
Yeah, just take the cycle first so that you know.
Alright.
Everyone I know, I'd love to get out of mine.
So, as everyone goes through the portal, you stand in the entrance of the Arcane College. You see what Hess sees, so this majordomo-like figure with a trashy novel of sort in his hands, just looking at Hess and being... and Hess has just finished saying, I am here to teach. Do you know the word? And...
The novel, like, does the cover of the novel have like a guy standing in the middle with like a girl on his legs?
Actually, the trashy novel is something like passionate words from a fire elemental.
Oh, so it's like Jordan Peterson's self-help books.
Could be, could be. And the majordomo looks at you, Hess, and goes, I do not care. Find an empty room, and if somebody wants to learn, they will. And if not, goodbye. But with that being said, this is quite a varied group. You're adventurers then. What are you doing here?
I just told
pointed
you.
at Donner.
Yeah, I step forward and say, I believe I'm expected.
And who would you be? We have so many people coming in, being expected, and...
Alright, Joe, you got this.
Hey,
Fucking
I am-
pose and get to it.
Donner Eclair and Funda.
And I guess you show off also the lightning elemental, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, alright.
Oh, no.
So you show off the lightning elemental as and the majordomo looks at you and goes, nice. Just let me check. He puts the trashy novel on the side, and from his desk he pulls out a thick stack of parchment, and he starts reading them. Like, so Rustling Major was here last day, then this Tuesday it was, isn't the Ritz a ranger? What's he doing here? No, wait. Then he keeps on going through and is like, just because someone can cast spells through rational ability does not mean they are a mage. You don't know who he's talking to. It's like he's talking to the air around him. Then he finally grabs one parchment out of all of them, looks at it, and goes, oh, yes. You were expected. Yes, you were. So, yes. So the meeting is in the. Well, there's no easy way to say it. The meeting is in the latrine. It's 2 doors down to the right.
Is it gonna fit
Ew.
all of us?
Yeah, don't worry. It's again. This was the private demiplane of the Archmage Shurazund, which we kind of just. It was here. Nobody was using it, so it was expropriated. But fighting to get a classroom can be hard. So some people get the less glamorous ones. Does not mean their research is less glamorous, of course.
Nothing to
lead the
break
way,
Donner's
Donner?
spirit.
All right. Then so you go through the entrance to the right, 2 doors in, and you should be there.
All right, he'll vogue forward.
Yeah. Just remember, if you ever get lost, just ask for help from one of the valets of a place. They will help you as long as you're polite. Remember to be polite.
Thank you. Is there a
Thank
map?
you.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
The problem is the rooms like to change.
Oh,
God, it's Harry Potter.
it's
Yeah.
like a TARDIS.
Could be. It's bigger on the inside anyway. So
Yeah.
It's a TARDIS. Oh, great.
so you follow the directions, and 2 doors in, you see there's literally like this wooden door with what looks like the symbol for a VC outside, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no plaque with like words like Doctor, Archmage, just a plaque with a water closet drawn upon it.
WC.
Yes.
I wonder what it stands for.
All right, Donner's just gonna open that door.
All right. So, as you open the door, you are met with not an actual small room. Like you were expecting a small room of some kind. What you are instead met with is could be a 25, 50, could be anything among that dimension. Bathroom. It's not small. It's not big enough for a class, but it's not small. And there's a literally golden-plated toilet standing on a corner, and upon it, though not relieving himself, stands a halfling who looks at you stepping inside and cheerfully waves. Hello! Are you students? Do you want to learn what my research entails?
No, I am Donner Eclair, and I am expected.
Oh, yes, I knew you would come. I invited you in because I feel that as fellow researchers who are shamed and humiliated by others, I wanted to ask how you managed to get through with it. He kind of hops off the bathroom, and he draws near and he extends a hand to clasp yours.
I go to shake it.
Alright, you shake his hand, and you see, I am of a firm belief that indeed elemental energy is what animates people. So, I have looked at your research on using electricity, and I have tried to imitate it myself. Unfortunately, the students kind of died on the way, but
Holy shit.
they died for science, didn't they?
Plus, if they die, they automatically pass all of their finals. So really, I'm doing them a favor.
But this is why, instead of using lightning, only lightning, I wanted to try using another element, like water, or fire, or even earth. But here's the thing. How do you swap out blood with dirt? Have you ever tried something similar with lightning in place of blood?
Painful, I imagine.
Are you a fellow researcher too? Like, the halfling now looks at Paws and is like, he looks really excited, like everything he's explaining isn't wrong for him. It's just... So, are you a fellow researcher?
I assist sometimes.
So, have you tried? How painful are we talking about? Would there be drugs to make the pain go away, or must they stay awake and suffer?
I know a lot about drugs.
That's
We
great!
dabble with drugs, yes. We're more chemists than God damn it, I'm breaking character.
Everyone is laughing just not to cry. So,
Yeah, but I know so many things about drugs you wouldn't even believe. I can talk your ear off about them.
alright, then I'll set an appointment for you afterwards. But returning to your research, Mr. Donner. So, how's the mortality rate going for you?
Well, I mean, eventually everything's 100% mortality rate. So, really, I sort of stopped keeping track because, I mean, you know, what's the difference between now or later, or really, when it comes down to it? I mean, time is an illusion.
Alright, because you see, I actually think I might have found a solution on the mortality aspect. If we could transform a living being into an elemental, then we could experiment with them, and they would not die of shock, because elementals don't have nerve receptors and don't feel pain.
Oh, shit.
That would be wrong.
Okay,
That
so
was
I start looking at each of the members of the group, and then I make a pointed look around us, and I gesture around. We could be doing my thing, and we would be totally fine.
This is great. Don't worry.
So,
Pulls out to Donner. Don't worry. If you die, I'll just bring you back.
So, here's the thing. My plan involves using an actual elemental, ripping its soul out, and replacing it with the soul of a willing participant. It's kind of the same thing, wouldn't you agree? But I'm a bit worried it might be too much. Like, the shock of changing into a whole new body might kill people. So, and you know, maybe doing it in a more eased way would work best. Which is why, if you'd like to give me a hand, since I know you're famous researchers as you are, I would need to find a small elemental to turn into mush, maybe, or something similar, and then see if we can manage to work some kind of, I don't know, mortal elemental hybrid. What do you say?
I just keep clear my throat. Where would you find the small elemental?
That's a good question. I mean, normally small elementals are more difficult to find than older ones, so...
I like to imagine that just as you said that, Funda just like pops out from behind me over my head like a light bulb going off.
Ooh, nice! You already have one then! You maybe followed into my own line of thought, didn't you?
Very eerie.
Well, not exactly. I thought by studying the elemental as it grows and by helping it attain greater power, you'd be able to better understand the elemental effect on mortal energy.
I mean, you could just eat it and see how it tastes. That would work too.
What? No, I couldn't. I couldn't eat Funda.
I mean, why not? Like the halfling looks at you. I mean, yes, fire elementals are a bit too hot to eat. Earth elementals can kind of break your teeth. Air elementals taste of like little to nothing. But water elementals, those go down really fast and nice, and they're kind of cool, and you can spruce them up with a bit of lemon or.
Have you tried doing so?
He's actually, as he's speaking, he's actually salivating. And his eyes are looking towards Fanda with the eyes that Paws normally reserves to a piece of meat.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy. This guy's kind of a dick.
Yeah, I'm gonna start backing away.
Oh,
I give Ravi a pointed look. Hey, Ravi, I say to him in Elvish. Let's fuck this guy up and rob their bank.
as you say that in Elvish, the halfling looks at you and goes, well, I'm just answering in Elvish, but if you want to rob a bank, I sincerely hope you're not planning on robbing the bank of Shurazund. I might have to denounce you to the authorities, after all.
I scoff at him. Like I'd settle for something like that. You guys don't have enough for me. You don't have the legendary golden elemental.
Roll me a deception check. I mean,
Seriously?
Yes! Let's see how powerfully this one goes. Deception.
12.
alright, let's see how much. I mean, technically it's just a wizard.
Oh, can I use Jack of all trades?
For what?
It says to add my half of my proficiency bonus to this.
But only if you are not already proficient in it, I guess.
Oh,
And
damn.
yeah, and you
Wait,
are
does
proficient.
it say that?
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm not proficient. Oh.
Yep. So let's see if we. I mean, technically a mage. Oh, well. Deception and. Okay, so insight. It's wisdom, not intelligence. Oh, well. Yeah, no, he doesn't bite. So, as you say that, though, he looks at you and goes, sure. And now, he's the one trying to deceive you. So, you roll me insight.
Oh god.
I think we all rolled.
Wait, this one I'm not proficient in, so I could actually add to it.
I mean, well, technically, anyone who knows Elven knows what's going on. Anyone else doesn't,
Okay,
so.
I guess
I have no idea what's going on.
So only those who know Elvish can roll on the insight. Otherwise, it's just the speaking words.
Alright,
Yep.
so...
Yeah, I mean, so you all kind of understand he's not really buying it. And,
I'm just confused.
yeah, Paws is confused as you see the halfling taking half a step back while he says, I see, yeah, well then, be on your way then.
Did we get this person's name? This halfling?
No, you didn't. You didn't even ask.
Well, you
I
know,
mean, we can. I think it's safe to assume that they're all like this.
You never.
I'm curious. Professor, your talk of the experiments and stuff is really quite interesting. You wouldn't happen to have published anything?
Well,
with
actually, I might have.
others?
Yes. I've used a couple of new names, because again, I like using names right and left, up and down. So you can find me in the literature as Grubby Banks or as Marget Kurt. I'm also known as the incredible Melee.
Melee?
Melee. Yes.
Melee?
Yes.
Marget what?
Can you spell that?
Maly.
Maley?
Yes,
His name is Maley?
one of the many names I have used. Yes.
Margaret Cruz?
Yes.
Sure. You were talking about what's it called? Something like infusing people's
Yes.
or exchanging people's blood with elements
Yes.
that might be easier if
Oh.
they could actually say wild like shape themselves perhaps wildly into elemental beings. Have you actually done any sort of experiments?
Actually, no. That's interesting. I should absolutely ask the druids about that. Maybe by forcing upon them an elemental change, their divine nature might actually allow them to survive the process.
Okay, what's a language that everyone here understands?
Apparently it's Elvish,
Oh,
and
I
most
don't.
likely Sylvish, because
Alright,
he
sorry.
does this.
I turn towards Kai and give her a look. The look that says,
I'm gonna kill
you
him.
know, yeah, that
Yeah,
look.
I'm gonna kill him.
I mean,
Fuck you.
Oh, are you actually going? Are you actually planning on doing that? I ask.
well, technically the druids here belong, well, they don't belong to anyone really. I'm going to ask them if they have volunteers. And if they don't, I'm going to go and find volunteers. I mean, all of the research is done on a purely volunteer basis. So, I pay them, they come, they die, but it's all legal, all lawful, the university knows. So, perfectly within the limits of the law.
Yes, but is it ethical?
What do ethics have to do with anything? This
Every
is research. Who cares about ethics in
When you ask
research?
for volunteers, you tell them straight up there is a chance for them to die.
Yes, of course I do. Why wouldn't I? I mean, knowing that they might die absolves me of any whatsoever legal wrongdoings.
And you tell them this before they agree to volunteer for you.
Well, yes. And anyway, we can just back off before I actually start.
Okay.
Uh,
I walk over
Do
to
they know
the
the
bathroom.
details of the operation?
Well, yes. Some of them understand, some of them don't know the actual words. I just try to speak to them in really simple terms.
I see.
I mean, the dredges of society exist everywhere, and they're all willing to do it in exchange for money, and I'm not seeing where the problem is.
I'm gonna slowly walk over to the bathroom door and just lock it.
Alright, you go and give it a click. Do you want to give me a stealth check?
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean,
Does he what's it called? React when Ravandil talks in Sylvan?
well, it depends what you... give me an insight check then.
Okay.
I don't like this guy. Gotta be honest.
Let's kill him.
Yeah, but in the end, you know,
Alright,
he
so it
might be
doesn't...
the average of wizards. So if we kill him, there might be an alarm.
Connor,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Fuck. 7. I can't tell.
Yeah, no, you cannot tell if he understands or not, Sylvan. He doesn't notice Hess locking the bathroom door, though.
Donner is still slightly horrified at the idea of mashing up Funda.
And then eating her.
Yes.
You must not forget the eating part.
The eating
Can we
part,
knock him
yeah.
out?
I'm gonna. Is he? The moment he turns his back or something, I'm gonna try and cast Charm Person on him.
He's actually not turning his back on you. You realize he's taking a couple of steps backwards, actually, and near his bathtub, well, near the bathtub, actually, there is a kind of desk. And he's heading towards it, trying to appear
Okay,
normal.
I cast Charm Person.
Initiative.
Ah, shit.
Everyone, initiative. Then we see who goes first and what happens then.
Damn.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
Ah, shit. Hold on. Let me just do that again.
10. I got 10.
There we go.
It didn't go through for some reason.
So,
My, I think
You
my
Should-
need to
dick was
press.
done.
You need to press the token first, and then
What
roll
token?
initiative.
The
Your
picture
token
on
on the
the
board.
Oh, okay. So I'll do that. Where's the token?
Okay, let me try
Hit the
again.
token, then hit initiative.
See? And now you're in the thing.
13.
all right.
Oh,
Wait, you're
crap,
still
goes
not on
first.
the thing.
No,
He's there.
he's there. He's there as a token. He's not there as a Shafnium Aquajar. He's just there as the image. So, Ravandil, I saw you did a 7. Don't you try to reroll and get a higher mark.
Actually, since for some reason doesn't, I thought it was stuck. That's why.
Yeah. They all say that.
Actually, I'm reading about this time.
Pose has done a 13-16 twice, actually. So the guys are 14. So, technically, it's... Well, he's not a token, so I'll just... Oh, well. I'll literally add the parchment, the arcane college, as the initiative order of him. So, Donner, you're still horrified. So, technically, Pose wants to cast Charm Person, but she will do it in her turn, so you don't know that. What do you do? Like, you're horrified, and...
I'm going to just cast Mage Armor on myself as a safety maneuver.
Shit. He's gonna go ahead of me.
Alright, and you do nothing else.
Shaft got
No.
Alright, so... you all see the halfling bolt, like, as fast as a bolt of lightning, he literally bolts for the bathtub and disappears below his desk.
Shit.
Fucking knew it.
So, Pose, it's now your turn. You no longer see him.
Therefore, I cannot cast Charm Person.
Yep.
It's probably a secret tunnel in the bathtub.
now it's my
Would
turn.
hold
We're
person be
still in
able to
combat,
do
right?
that?
Yeah, wait, it's
Yeah, yeah.
between you and Pose. Which of you has the highest dexterity?
Me.
Alright, so then you go first and Pose goes second. So, Shaf!
You've got higher than 16?
19.
Okay.
So yeah, Shaf, what do you do?
Okay, how far down the drain is he? Is he like in the bathtub?
Well, technically you don't know. So the bathtub has this desk that covers its surface. You just saw him slip underneath it and disappear.
Fucking move the desk.
Like he moved the desk over the bathtub?
Yeah, he kind of didn't have a desk, so he just grabbed this wooden table and plopped it down in this massive bathtub to act as a desk.
Is the bathtub connected to anything with pipes?
You do see a set of what are they called? Not sprinklers for the water. Damn, I have no.
What happens if I cast heat metal on the tub?
The tub is not made of metal; it's made of porcelain.
But it has pipes and metal.
Yes. It has pipes, so you could cast heat metal on the pipes. Yes,
That would make them explode.
that would make them heat up. Exploding is a different concept.
Uh-huh.
Do it.
Yeah, I think I'll try that. I'll cast heat metal on the pipes.
All right.
And, let's see. Can I use... Would Dimension Door help here? Probably not. It's not able to have any of that.
Oh, dimensional
Can I-
fuckery here.
Can I use hallucinatory terrain to change the area around us and make it look like a completely different plane of existence?
Well, you could try.
I think
But
I'll do
wait,
that.
no you can't, because hallucinatory
Oh.
terrain is only if it's natural terrain. So,
Oh, okay.
you cannot do it on manufactured structures, equipment, and creatures.
Okay, so should I try using vicious mockery or should I set up a tiny hut?
Vicious mockery requires high contact. Yeah, you can see within range. You do not see him.
Oh, sorry, it's still your turn. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to do. You know what? I've already heat the metal of the pipes,
Yes.
so that should be. Could I make a dimension door in the middle of? Nope, can't do that. No teleportation circle stuff. Okay, I guess I could cast Unseen Servant behind me, so I have someone to help back us up in the upcoming fight.
Alright. Then,
Then my turn.
Yes.
Is... I'm gonna cast Entangle in the rough area where he was, where he disappeared into.
alright.
It says a creature in the area when you cast a spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained.
Alright. Well, you cast the spell in the area, but how big is Entangle actually?
20-foot square.
20
Let's
foot.
say-
How many
yeah.
meters is that? 20 foot? 6 meters, alright. Yeah, you cast it in the general bathtub area.
So it says 20-foot square starting from a point within range
Yeah.
of 90 feet. I'd say that I'll cast it where I last saw him, like where he last disappeared.
Alright. Yeah. So basically, most of the bathtub, which you see now, starts to form these vines that kind of lash around but grab onto nothing.
Oh. F.
Spell save DC 16.
Yeah. But there's nothing.
Ah, shit.
It's not visible.
So
Is it my turn?
So he's not in that area anymore.
no, he's not. Well, technically, it's Ravandil's turn.
Alright, first of all...
He had a 7, and you rolled a 6.
Okay, 1 second. First of all, I'm going to use my see invisibility spell to see if he's anywhere near there.
Alright. So, you use see invisibility, and in front of you, where the entanglement is, you don't see anyone. And anything. He's literally not there.
He turned
Okay.
into a water elemental.
I mean, I can see the third plane. I would have seen him.
Alright.
So, okay, then I investigate the bathroom.
Well, you're near the bathtub, and can you give me a strength check?
No, sorry. Yeah, I'll have to do it on the next turn.
Yes. I mean, so
He is entangled.
he is. So you get entangled by poses, weeds, and vines.
Sorry, Ravi, and I cut my concentration on that.
Damn it!
Rame, you had one job.
Wait, since we heated the water with the freaking pipes, so he's not just falling into water; he's falling into scalding water.
I mean,
It depends on what he is, though.
so
He got entangled and dragged into boiling hot water because of.
so then,
How do you do that? How?
so then, Hess, what do you do?
Hess will smack her lips a bunch, just kind of sniff at the air, and turn around. Say, how did you say his name again? Mela?
Malik.
Melee. Melee.
All right.
Like scaly but postal.
Hess casts locate creature.
Alright.
Is it within 1,000 feet of Hess?
Locate creature, give me just a second, I need to see if using a fake name actually work. So technically, he has to be familiar of a specific kind of clothes at least once. Different form. If he's in different form, it does not locate the creature.
He's turned himself into
And you cannot locate a creature if there is running water at least 10 feet wide blocking the path.
There's no running Oh, wait, that's a bad.
pipes. Yeah.
So no, you have no idea where he is.
Fucking, let's just go home then. Turn to the door and open it.
So after us, it's Donner's turn.
Yeah,
Oh,
He didn't
Come on,
leave.
guys.
He's still in the bathtub. He turned himself into a fucking water elemental.
who gives a shit? We haven't hurt him. He's got nothing on us.
He knows. I can't say it actually because
There is no buff plug, Ravandil.
Because there's water in the bathtub, that's why.
No, there's no water in the bathtub either. The bathtub is empty, if not for the top half of the desk, which was removed when the wines went everywhere, and so it's an empty bathtub with without a buff plug, and the metal of the pipes is red from the heat metal spell.
I'm just gonna take a look at his desk. Does he have any of his papers there?
He does have a lot of papers in it, describing various forms of experiments he used on the people from the nearby city, and from unlucky bastards that he literally kidnapped in the night.
Holy shit! This guy's a fucking monster. We need to report him.
He claims in his research notes that everything he's doing is for the benefit of a greater, stronger race, to make the halflings better from what they actually are, and make them stand taller than the very humans, stronger than the orcs, and to do that by using the elements to transform their flesh and body into something better.
He was a Nazi.
Nazi.
As
Nazi.
I knew it.
as you are
Reads, he shakes his head to the side, and it's
So-
such a shame when such noble intentions fall.
so as
Eugenics, man.
you are reading this note, time passes. It's a couple of minutes because to get every piece together. By the time you do, somebody knocks at the bathroom door.
Occupied.
Watch.
Hey,
Snake, spider.
the knocking kind of intensifies, and a voice booms out. Oi, Melly, your time is up. Now it's my turn to do magic lessons. Come on, you know my lessons can't wait.
Oh,
Okay.
They're time sensitive. He keeps on knocking. Come on! Divination through peeing is a trusted method! Open up!
I cast Alter Cell, and I transform into Melly.
Oh,
Why?
shit.
What?
Oh
Okay,
shit.
you know what? Okay, let's go with this.
Let's roll with it.
Let's
I'm
roll
gonna
with it.
grab his papers.
Yeah?
And, let's
Okay,
just take them
I'll-
with us.
I'll
So
cast-
we
I'll cast invisibility on myself, and I still have my unseen servant.
I'm gonna take, I don't know, a notepad out, act as if I was a student, I guess.
Yeah? Well, the door keeps rattling. Does somebody go to open it? Come on!
Yes.
Go.
So,
Alright. I'm like, keep your horses on, I'm opening it. And I
so
open,
as he opens the door, he then strongly pushes you aside because this portly man rushes for the toilet and without care that there's other
Oh,
people
God,
in it,
I
just
know,
rest, just starts releasing while
Around and stuff.
while starting to like speak arcane words in like Ashala Gaza Vazala. And-
Yes.
I leave the room.
Shafnium sighs. He
I
pulls out a
leave the
blunt,
room.
and he stares ahead at the nightmare. He lights it, takes a deep breath. He exhales. Just another day in the life of a shit digger. Fucking leaves.
I
And
had
then he
left the
turns
room.
and fucking leaves. Only then.
Yeah, I just leave as well.
So
Yeah, walk out.
Actually, is he on the toilet right now?
he's just taking a leak. So he's not sitting on it.
Oh, okay. Shit. No, that's very, very rude to do. You said it was gold plated, right?
Yes.
Was there any mention of the cultists or anything like I don't know, getting help or helping anyone in that cult?
Not well. There's nothing about that in his research notes. Like his research notes are mostly about his experiments, but there is a mention that he overheard about Donner's past from a guy at the local tavern, the demon and the cook.
We're gonna have to interrogate Mr. Gold Shower here for information.
No.
No, I think we
Don't
should
say like that.
go to the demon and the cook then.
The man, after a couple of minutes, is done. Yes, you kind of hear the waterfall of a Niagara going on. He's like,
His kidneys must resemble grapevines.
he exhales in relief and goes towards Ravi, who's still in his.
And Ravi stayed in the room to watch.
I don't know. He never said he left.
Yeah, that must have been one compelling schlong.
He looks at Ravi, who's in, and he goes, "Hey, Melly, listen. Next time, fucking finish your lessons early. I don't care if you're bending students over or your local beggar is croaking his last, and I don't know, you want to comfort him or whatever. You know my research is important. I'm finding knowledge." And what do you do, Ravandil?
Yeah. Now you. Excuse me.
Ravi, your
Yeah, your mic is
not-
kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Can't
fine,
hear
like,
you.
oh wait. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Dismissive. Excuse me, I have a lesson to finish. I turn to the others and I clap my hands like. Now, as I was saying.
No, you turned to an empty room.
Yeah, you're basically hello. Everyone else left.
Wait, you have left?
We're not in there, buddy.
The moment he started peeing, Paws left.
So
I
the
stood and watched for a second longer, but then I. Well, we all know what I did. I just.
the wizard in question actually puts a hand on your shoulder, Ravandil. He hasn't washed them. He just puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Now you listen to me, you little, you little snot-faced halfling, half of a man that you are. There's an order in this place, and the order is I'm above you. So shut the fuck up and get the fuck out. I have a class to teach." You realize the class is still empty, so whoever his students are, they're probably either not coming or they're coming late.
Out in the corridor, do we see anyone heading that way?
You actually, well, give me a perception check. So you actually see one person coming over while drinking a large bottle of water.
Okay. Take a guess.
So, Ravandil, what do you do? The guy's hand is on your shoulder.
I physically restrain the urge to stab him in the face with my sword. I
probably get
take
away
his
with it,
cap,
too.
I gently put it out,
Take the rest of his
and I
notes,
just
whatever
walk
is there.
away. Eh?
Take whatever else is there.
I mean, I want to take the golden toilet, but you know he's there.
No, I mean,
No,
like,
no.
All the notes.
on the
All the
desk.
notes.
All
Okay,
the
I
notes,
just
all,
gather the notes.
everything. All the notes, all the books.
As you're gathering the notes, the the man looks at you. What? Too tired to have a valet do it for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Ha! Guess a half man only has half a stamina of a real man then.
Wow.
I
What
mean,
a
I
douche.
don't give a shit because I'm not a halfling, so whatever.
Yeah, it's just remember, it's not you. It's the acting
Exactly.
is insulting.
The only reason I'm not angry is because it's malice, of course.
So as some students start to filter in, the wizard gets further annoyed and just snaps his finger as a couple of invisible valets pop out from the very walls. Just grab Mali's stuff and bring it back to his office. I've got better things to do. And the valets actually start to grab stuff and kind of bring it away. Donner, you were holding on to Mali's research notes, right?
Yes.
Did you put them away or are they still in your hands?
I guess they'd still be in my hands. I think I'd be carrying.
You see a couple of invisible valets pop out from the floor below you and grab at the notes. Do you want to hold on to them or do you let them go?
They're all going to the office anyway. We should probably follow them.
No, if we follow them to the office, we'll just find fucking Melee again, ready to blast our faces off.
I mean, will he be ready? He doesn't know I'm invisible.
Oh,
And he doesn't know about my unseen servant either.
Also, I don't want him around like experimenting on fucking druids. Okay, they're my people.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Let's fucking kill him.
And he knows about, we might...
Oh, I just, instead of hearing, okay, that's fair, I heard, okay, that's four. And I was like, oh, because Paws is an animal and, okay, that's four.
Oh,
Oh, wow! Talk about casting stones in a glass house, Rav. Wow. Rav, what an asshole.
so let's go follow the valets to his office.
Yeah, I'll let him take. I'll let the valet take the note.
So the valets take the notes and everything, they gather them together, and you see that more than one valet just brings the notes and the stuff in the hands of only one, who then starts to float calmly.
Before they get them, I say, can you leave them here? I'm gonna have my students carry them.
They don't give a shit about you.
Of course they don't.
They actually, do you say that in the same classroom as where the P wizard is?
Oh
no. I actually thought they were outside.
Alright. So, the single invisible valet or whoever grabs all to everything and starts to float through the college. As he goes by, people look at you going by, and one of them goes, "Hey there, Melly, how's it going? You managed to give a shock of its life to somebody for once?"
Oh shit, I don't think this guy's really very well regarded.
Somebody else goes, "So you tried putting shit instead of dirt into people's veins now? You ever tried that? You stupid dumbwit?" Actually, there's a lot of poison going around. Venom, like venomous words.
Oh, I was about to say.
I'm the bard! Why is everyone else doing my vicious mockery?
Oh, and then somebody goes,
But I can't.
and then somebody goes, "Oh, look at him going on his stubby little legs. He's so cute and so unable to even do his exams."
I'm like, oh, just like being back and forth.
But in the end, the valet stops in front of a closet. It's literally a
Of course, it's a good.
And then he opens the door, steps inside, and drops everything on the floor. The closet is a really small, like, cubicle with a stool to sit on. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I sense if there's like new smell or like sound or anything? If there's anyone else in the closet before we...
Well, no, because the closet is literally just... It's not even... It's big enough for one halfling to sit inside.
Like,
It's like... Probably it was a broom closet once.
Fuck.
Yep. By the way, it's not the only closet. And a nearby closet pops open, and another halfling comes out and looks at you. If you're looking for Professor Mali, he's not here, I'm afraid. Oh, were you looking for me? Like, the halfling looks at you with, like, hope in his eyes.
No.
Wait.
Sorry, no.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
Do you know where Professor Malley is supposed to be?
I just overheard him yell something about assassins and going to get the director involved in this. The rector of the Arcane College and the Elemental Order.
Oh,
Ah, but then he... Oh, I keep forgetting that Ravandil is dressed as Professor Mali. So he's like... So he looks at Ravandil and goes, ah, well, there he is. Oh, I guess you managed to get some students then. They might give you a bigger closet. Oh, I'm so jealous. Anyway, how did it go with the rector of a college? Did you go to him first or to the Elemental Order?
Oh, you know, same old, same old.
I mean, same old, same old. You told me assassins were trying to get you. I don't think that's same old.
talk us out of this one, Ravi. Talk
No,
us out.
we are the same old.
So?
So I'm just like, yeah, you know, trying to get some new blood here to appreciate the hard work of big halfling.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm an halfling myself. So, how's it going with your research anyway? You mentioned something about having found a fellow researcher, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, sure. I met up with him, but, yeah, he didn't have what I needed.
Oh, that's a shame. I know it's hard always to find the great colleagues to help you along the way. Well, anyway, if you're still up for it, we can meet at the Demon and the Cook later today and discuss the exact dosage of pain killing for, you know, the poppy seed milk and whatnot.
Oh my god, he's fucking. I knew it. He's a Nazi too.
Do you say that? Well, do you say, oh... What?
They're all
I
fucking
see.
Nazis. They're all fucking Nazis.
Halfling, man.
Please
What? I mean,
I think we should just go. I think we should just go.
Yeah, let's just leave.
get- Gotta leave it.
well,
Stuff and
the halfling looks at you and goes, are you sure? If any of you want, I'm doing research on the properties of anesthetics. So, no takers.
I'm all studied up for today. Sorry.
Oh, well. A pity.
I cannot partake of anesthetics willingly. It is against the code of clock. I'm sorry.
And clock? Whose clock?
You haven't heard the word?
No, I have not heard the word.
Tess is gonna launch into a long spiel about clocks and also hand out a flyer.
So, the halfling takes the flyer. Do you want to give me a charisma check?
Yes.
Yes. Make it
You
good.
get to play
Make it
on behalf
good.
of- Yes.
Not
And I'm
see-
invisible, so I can't do anything
Wait,
about it.
is it persuasion or just straight up charisma?
Just a straight up charisma check. Persuasion comes after.
Not see.
Nice! Now you can do persuasion.
Aye.
You get a Nazi member in the cult of
Yeah.
clock.
So,
No.
the guy actually listens closely to you, but it's not. He's not. I mean, he doesn't really like the words you're speaking. So he's just enjoying the show, so to speak. He looks.
Oh, jeez.
So basically, at he says, "Well, I understand. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I do like myself a good omelette. So I'm sorry."
This has tried to kill him.
But well, good luck and well, see you later tonight then, Mali, unless you have something coming up and you cannot meet with me.
Okay, see ya.
Bye! And then he
before we-
closes. Yeah?
Oh, okay. No, just once he closes the door, I'm just gonna go through Mally's notes and take some of the more incriminating sections,
Yes?
just as a little bit of insurance in case we're
Yeah,
ever...
well, there are some
We made a
parts.
visit to the director, apparently.
Okay, I will search his office if I find it valuable.
Oh
What?
yeah, let's just rob this dude.
Well, this dude has little. It's literally a closet with a stool.
Yeah,
And
but,
his
like,
research,
Did
not-
he have any magic stuff?
Is there anything more incriminating or connecting with cultists or whatever in there?
No, there's not actually. But his research notes do mention. Well, there's a lot of incriminating stuff in his research notes, especially his rants. Like, he starts ranting in one page about the greatness of the halfling race once we acquire the power of fire running through our veins, and then we will burn the children. And he's like, I have attempted to merge children with child elementals, and that has failed. Back to the drawing board again.
You think he
See, his
causal after
problem-
he turns them into elementals?
Like, failure after failure besets me, but I feel like I have finally made some kind of breakthrough. I know that through magic one can actually imbue himself and transform into an elemental. I did not know that it was divine in origin, such magic. It's kind of strange, actually. Because those words, he didn't know them when he spoke with when he spoke with Paws, but they're actually amongst his research notes.
That's weird.
Can I go to the end of his notes and see
Oh
what?
god,
Yes.
is he like a
recent-
lich?
As you reach the end of his notes, you realize they're being scribbled on, like somebody is writing them, and the words are popping on the page. I will have to visit the druids, but so close to Shurazund and so soon, even if those bastards try anything, I'm still on the right side of the law. They won't dare do anything to me. I'll manage.
Who has minor
Right
illusion
side of the
again?
law. Like that has ever stopped us before.
Yeah. Who has minor
Hess.
illusion again? Hess.
I.
Hess.
Oh wait, no,
Wait,
I
what?
have minor illusion, but Hess,
I don't have minor illusion.
Hess, do you have anything that can track this guy with this thing?
Well, I had locate creature, but I don't think he's within 1,000 feet of me anymore.
think
I
Right.
have minor illusion.
I can try sending him to see if he can reveal if I can sneak some stuff out of him. We can probably figure out his location based on like the fucking rants that appear in his notes.
As long as we don't tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he said something about the druid circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go to the good druid circle and show them the writing. And they're like,
Yeah, he said, I cannot go to the druids of Shurazund yet, because again, those annoying assassins. Ha! I'm sure they're going to be swamped with paperwork to get out of that.
We have to go to the circle. We have to warn them.
But anyway, enough bumbling about. I'll meet with my contact at the Demon and Cook and go from there. Everything should work very well. Well, I can do that, or I can just throw myself in the well of evil. That will work too.
oh god.
Paws
Alright.
is made up. Paws is gonna take that piece of paper with the ranting on it.
Yeah.
Or, and as you're taking the paper, you realize the words are changing. Or, dot dot dot, is that what you were thinking I was going to write here, adventurers?
Oh my fucking god.
Shit, seriously?
I
You
can't
realize
do that, man.
that the paper, the notes are starting to melt away one after the other. You are not going to be able to stop the rise of the Prince of Lies and Decide. You can try, of course, and maybe, who knows, you might even annoy us enough. But it's too late.
Of
Ha!
course he's a goddamn cultist.
may.
I can't believe I was 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, you actually guessed it, and I was like, now we're going to, and no. Well,
And you being wrong, that it's actually kind of jarring.
Exclamation point.
Well, it's,
The
you know,
one
stock
time,
clock.
the one time that I was right when I said that we should rob a bank, and you didn't listen to me.
well, adventures, we will meet soon. After all, so there's someone, I think a certain Shespera, who wants to meet you. And he writes meet with E and A, not E and E.
Ugh.
Right.
And then the last paper just melts into droplets
That was
of ink.
bad.
I am tired of these motherfucking cultists on this motherfucking town. Alright, I'm letting the others. Everyone on favor of killing them slowly and painfully say
I.
Aye.
good.
Before that, though, let's go to the Druid Circle. I need one of you to minor illusion into looking like that guy and tell them, beware this guy.
Outer self, remember?
Alright. Oh yeah, you already look like him.
Yeah,
Hey.
I mean. Now let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So-
Before we go, one last thing. Can I just, real quick, check out if I know what the title "The Prince of Lies" means?
Yeah, no, that was on me. It's not the Prince of Lies, it's the Master of Deception.
Oh,
It
okay,
was,
Master of Deception.
Yeah, it's one of the nicknames of Mammon. Prince of Lies is Asmodeus. No, it's
Of course
Master
it's
of
Mammon.
Deception. Duh!
Just we knew that from the last session.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
but we
We
didn't know.
know the fucking elf, the halfling Nazi, was also
I'll just point
Is it
out.
wrong?
Wait, I'll point out that Mammon grants riches and power, but in exchange for disgusting service.
Disgusting service.
Yes, he is ruthless, greedy, and lustful. Words and magic are used in a cunning way. He establishes friendships before committing betrayals, often violently.
okay.
He's so untrustworthy, there is no single archdevil who actually would be in the same room as him. He betrayed his own underlings and generals.
Oh my god. I think I know what we should do.
So with that being
The city is fucked.
What?
Everything about it is just been god awful so far. We have slavers as the head of society, and also fucking
Elementals aren't people.
Yeah. Exactly,
I'll
right?
be right back. Hold on.
One
Yeah.
of the chief wizard researchers who enabled this system of slavery is a fucking monster.
No? Oh, he's not. He's like a research assistant at best.
That's
Like-
subjective.
He's
They
still
gave
terrible.
him a toilet instead of a classroom. Obviously, he doesn't have a big influence.
I mean, did you didn't hear? But when Hess said no, you did hear. When Hess said she was there to teach, the guy at the entrance just said, "Find an empty room." Like,
Oh, so it's sort of like Mad Max style. It's a free fall.
yeah, because you're actually not in an actually proper university. You're literally in a private demiplane of an archwizard who died a long time ago, but made the demiplane permanent.
Nice.
So it's like a senior university.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a really big mansion which we're using as a university, but it used to be a private person house. Like, you know, some universities in Italy used to be mansions and villas of noble houses,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and then they turned them into universities. But actually, they're rooms.
Oh, okay.
I want
Oh.
a demiplane.
Well,
Where do I get a demiplane shade?
when you ask your god for it and you're level 20.
Shit!
So, with that being said, where do you go next?
Uh-huh.
I guess just to the Druid Circle, right? We gotta warn them
Yeah.
about this fucker.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to just abandon the city to its fate. The moment's lost.
No, I'm heading straight to the Druid Circle. I'm I'm like walking out the whole.
Well, Shafnium, you cannot abandon the city to its fate. You still have to recover the 2 pieces of Nurse Scalpel.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that too.
I'm personally invested.
Yes! And just you wait! I'll make you even more invested! You have the orphanage, remember! And the children who want their father!
He's more concerned about their scalpel.
I'm dragging Ravi along with me.
Well, I guess
Okay.
you're all going.
All right, here we go.
So let's see.
I'll also point out this is the first time that we haven't followed one of my plans, and look at what's happening to us. We're getting fucked.
It's fine.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Nothing's burning, nothing's dying yet. So, the Red Grove Circle is, as the name implies, a grove filled with trees that have red leaves. It's like an eternal autumn. But the grove appears to be kind of deserted, if not for a single beautiful looking red fox that is staring at you from the hollow trunk of a tree.
I say hello in Druidic.
And the fox says hello back. In
Can I?
Sylvan, of course.
So,
I understand that.
Hello.
hi. Maybe meet with the leader of the Druidic Circle. We have a warning. We brought a warning. We've got a warning for him.
Sure. What do you want to tell him?
There's some people that are trying to kidnap him for less than legal experiments.
No, that is problematic. I will see what I can do about it then.
Also, I would like to speak with them regarding two things. One is the circle in Egladrin burning down.
Ah, that is sad. Yes. The trees whispered its demise. Yes, we heard. We are sorry for your loss. It must hurt terribly to lose family twice.
What do you mean?
What?
Well,
Paws is giving them like a really weird eye.
you have lost all of your family once already, have you not? And now you have lost it again.
But how do you know about that?
Well, my dear, I am perhaps as old as the trees themselves, or so I would like to say, though I'm sure some trees are older than me. And I was here centuries ago, maybe the only one who knows more about the events other than me would be Beorted of the clocks. But
Wait, clocks as in like chicken clocks? Or
no,
As looks
Beord clocks.
affronted and Paws like, seriously?
I thought she said clocks as in like that.
No, he said clocks. But
Okay.
Like the things that go tick or the things that go balk.
and what if I go tick tock and then there's the cuckoo who comes out and goes buck?
The
Well-
ultimate life form.
So the fox looks at you and speaks. I was here centuries ago when it all began, though at that time we did not know of anything having ever begun. Yes, your tribe, I think, members of it at least, were guides and for travelers heading into the mountains. They were quite nimble and agile, but unfortunately, they must have seen or found something they shouldn't have. As such, they were hunted down and killed to the last by an unholy power of sorts. It is our shame and regret that we could not have them more. Unfortunately, their enemy was wicked, evil, and was shown to be amongst us even, hiding behind the facade of friendship. That is why in this circle I am the only one left. How can you bring back trust when all of it is shattered? And the druid, well, the fox looks at you and goes, well, it yawns. I am the leader of this grove, and I am also its only member, so if anyone wants to come and attempt to claim me, he will find nature will not be so forgiving.
That's cool.
But if you have questions, further ones, ask them and I will answer. I at least owe you this much, having failed back in the days to protect the rest of your family.
Do you know where they were based? I know that we traveled across the mountains, but do you know where the Boundless Woods plan?
Well,
Okay.
they used to care for Eldritch Downs, in the southern mountains, before the peaks. They would spend their winters in the Copper Hills, however.
And you said they were betrayed by friends, acting as...
I say that the evil and the unholy which exists and which they sow turned them against one another, and even the very members of his circle turned against one another. It is a cunning evil. It whispers to you, it promises you, and then inevitably it betrays you.
Oh, we know that.
You do? Then you should be careful.
So, like, is there anyone here who has been in some way fucked by these cultists?
They seek the end of the world, Shafnium. What makes you think it's not part of their plan to fuck everyone up?
That just made this personal.
Well, Shafnium, if it wasn't personal, it should have been. You clearly do not remember, do you? But then again, how could you? There is always a reason for why we do things. Or did you really think you started your bender because you just wanted to?
Oh, fuck. I've been drugged before.
Yes?
I'm more bothered what they're doing to Paws.
Oh, well. It's
Or
fun.
what they did.
Paws is totally sad right now.
Yeah.
Oh, do not be sad. It's the circle of life.
My God.
Yeah, it's a druid! He has to say that! It's the circle of life. Unfair as it may look at first, inevitably it's the way nature works. Nature isn't kind or evil. Nature simply is. They are dead and you are alive. What you do with your life determines how much you care about your past.
I'm half expecting their faces to appear in the clouds above us.
And the music to start playing like Pose, go!
You have forgotten me. Oh
You
god.
have forgotten yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Now we made fun of Shane.
Then you will send messages to the other circles.
Well, I will, though I don't know what will happen of it. After all, we are all in danger, and yet there's not that much paranoia going around, and there shouldn't be. For when you are in the grips of fear, when you are paranoid, that is when the enemy is at its greatest.
does know.
Well, yeah, knowing one's enemy is usually the first steps on the road to defeating him. But do be careful, because some knowledge isn't meant to be learned, and it's something that may sometimes come at a greater price than ignorance itself. But I'm just decided to live the rest of my life as a fox, so maybe I'm not the best judge of character or wisdom around here. He's actually a red fox. Like, he's yawning and he's talking normally, but he's a fox. A red fox at that.
Oh, so we cannot touch Fluffy Tail.
I mean, you can try. He might just bite your hands off. But, I mean, what do you use your hand for, Ravandil? You can't even hit someone with a bow, so...
Fuck! Shots fired!
Not by Ravi, they aren't.
Oh! Where are you at?
For some reason, feels this immense sadness as if someone just mocked him from the outer world like his mom.
But anyway, that is as far as my knowledge goes. You should probably talk with Beorter. He might know more. Though, if I were you, I would be careful about it.
I'm always careful. We're always careful, right, guys?
Yeah.
Stupid grin.
Yeah, I
Stupid
suppose.
grin.
Alright.
Paws just has a stupid grin. Alright,
Well then,
for your wisdom.
it's not a problem. Wisdom is meant to be told to youngsters seeking glory and maybe heading towards a foolish death. But who knows?
Okay,
Alright,
let's all take a step off to the side now.
okay.
We know that the cult has done really shitty things to Paws. We know that the cult has probably done really shitty things to all of us personally.
I
And
will burn
all-
them. All of them.
But we also know that they are working for someone who will inevitably betray them. And we also know that they're assholes. And they've subverted this city entirely. So,
Where did you get the subverted the entire city? Like, I'm like, you saw one guy out of a population of 80,000. One guy.
No, I'm just imagining a red fox shouting this at us.
Yeah, like, where the fuck do you get that idea? Where? I mean, and it's not even like it's not even like the captain of a guard or where you could actually maybe it's like a random janitor who's I mean, as long as we're clear on that, you can say whatever you want, but let's be clear on that.
okay, guys, a show of hands here. Who has had a terrible experience in coming into this city? And then I slowly, Shaft slowly raises his hand, and he gives pointed looks to everybody. And these guys are working for Mammon, and Mammon punishes them for anything, especially for failure. So, if we rob the bank now, then we can screw them.
I mean, I found
Come
out
on.
about all of this stuff and I suffered, yeah, but technically all of this stuff happened in my past.
Well, yes, but it's happening to all sorts of other people just like us right now because of them. How does that make you feel, Paws? I don't know, like that Ram girl.
I just
You know, the girl that we had to leave with Earth's sheep as part of his dying wish. You know, that little girl who accompanied us. You know, remember Mary?
No.
I
I've
remember
never met
Mary.
I've never met a Mary.
Mary had a little sheep. Ooh ah,
Remember?
ooh ah.
Tess wasn't part of the gang back then.
So Shafnium, he just takes a step back and he kind of looks down. Oh.
Yeah. Tess wasn't with us then.
all right.
Sorry, I force a habit that.
It's all right.
Now I feel sad.
How? What time of the day is it? Is it lunchtime? Should
It's
we go
kind of
there?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of lunchtime. You could go have lunch in one of the delicious inns available in the city
The demon and the cook.
if you want to.
Let's
What do you
deal
think,
drugs.
I just want to get drunk.
All right.
Let's get approval and just start dealing drugs.
So if you want to get approval, you have to go to the shrine to Abadar. If you want to get food, you have to go to the demon and the cook.
Well,
All
we're
right.
passing by to get here. We
If
need
we
to
go to the
through
food
shrine
place-
anyway.
If we go to the food place, Hess is gonna lose her fucking mind.
No, actually, I was going to say that if you guys go to the food plate, Hess is just gonna swing by the prison to pick up old cultist lady.
Who was
Alright.
talking about her son or something during the old
And,
people Twitter.
Actually, should we finish all the quests first? Like we have Shafnium, Ponescapo, and
Well, I figure that if we raise the money through everybody else's efforts, then by the time we go to me, which ends up costing the most money out of everything else, it'll be fine. We can just pay our way through that.
Yeah. Come on, let's pass through that shrine.
You do wait. You do remember you have the money for the shrine to Abadar, do you?
oh yeah, they gave it
Because the elemental order paid you because they think there's someone corrupt in the shrine itself.
Yeah.
So they gave
How
you
much
the
did
money.
they pay us?
50 gold coins, which is what's
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough for Nurse. That's not
No,
gonna be enough.
but it's enough to get the license to start
selling.
selling meat, spiced meat.
I didn't get
Very
the money.
spicy meat, not spiced meat. And I give I give her a very pointed look.
Yes,
You,
yes.
You know, the stuff, and then I pull
Yeah.
out a small bag of white powder. The stuff.
I push it back into him wherever he put it, where he pulled it from. Yes, yes. Let's go. Come on.
So,
Trying to get the license.
so you all had to get the license to the shrine to Abadar, right?
Yeah. Hess, are you coming with, or where is the? Is Hess actually coming with us, or when you say
No,
you're?
I'm going to the prison to pick up cultist lady, leader of the sect here in Shurazund.
Yeah, Hess is going in a different direction to us.
Yeah, wherever the prison is actually.
Well, the prisons is still in the well. Actually, the prison is in the. Give me a second. Let me check. Elemental order keep. So technically, it's on the way. You were there in the beginning,
There.
but
And then there, and then there.
I mean, picking up the old lady is kind of fast. You just show up. The guards look at you. You say who you're there to pick, and then there's a fine to pay of 3 gold coins for the damage, and that's it.
Right. I hand them 30.
They bring the old lady out, and as she looks at you, she goes, "Oh, thank you, sister of clock. I'm so happy to see you. I did as you asked. I tried to my best, but they didn't want to listen. So curse on them by the wheel of clock. May her beak feast on their entrails. And did I tell you about my son? And he found work recently, and it's going great. And
Oh, that's awesome! Do not worry about the city. We've given them plenty of warning. If they really
good,
want to
great.
now,
I'm
it's
so
fine.
happy about it. What can we do now?
Me and my cultists in training will figure out the rest. Do not worry.
Oh my god!
Should I go home and I don't know, fortify the house with blessed fevers and pillows and
Yes,
Holy shit!
yes, do that. Please.
shall I free?
Fucking
Wait,
evil!
shall I free our brethren from the filthy coops of the slavers that keep them trapped?
Yes. Wait. Yes. Do it when no one else is around.
Yes, yes, I hear your wisdom. And I will do just that.
Are you telling this in front of the guards?
Well, so, well, the guards, they're kind of looking and they're like, "Ah, the old lady's mad." So, Hess, high or low percentage?
Hi. Hi. Let's fucking go.
All right,
Oh,
you will hear from the old lady soon. Maybe.
you paid
So-
30 gold though. Just ask them to ignore
No,
it.
3 gold. 30
Okay.
silver.
So the old lady goes ready and valiant and what's not. So you go with the rest of the group to the shrine to Abadar. The shrine is a large, tall building entrusted and glorified to the god of commerce and cities. It is a testament of wealth and opulence. It is a show of gold and might. It is also the city's bank.
Okay.
As you are about to step inside, though, guards stop you at the entrance. No weapons allowed inside. Deliver them all as well as any symbol of the faith that you may have.
I only have a walking stick, which is my staff.
Deliver the stick. You can walk.
Oh.
I have a bong. Do you allow recreational substances?
No, deliver everything that may be used as a weapon. And then, as you are about to step inside, you realize that the main entrance has a kind of red square upon which you feel faint magical energy. And
Wait, do they take my staff of healing?
if, well, it's a staff.
Yes.
Yes,
It
they
can be
do.
Used as a quarterstaff.
Yes, they do. And there are one of the guards says, "Please stop on the square, for the truth will always prevail." So,
Rolls her eyes.
and the question asked is, "Have you delivered all of your weapons?"
Yes.
Yes.
As you say yes, and there is no sign of the site or not, you pass through the zone without problems. Does everyone say yes? Be truthful, remember.
I mean, they have my only stick, so.
Yeah, I didn't give all my weapons.
Yeah.
Shafnium sighs and he says, "Okay, no." And then he goes back, and then he takes out his cestus and the other pieces of Nurse Scalpel, and he puts them down. And he points at whoever's in charge of making sure that these things don't go anywhere.
Do not worry.
Touch my bong.
On our honor as paladins of Abadar, none that is delivered and entrusted in our care shall ever be lost.
Oh no, it's not a matter of loss. Like, you can't physically touch this thing. This is a magic item. It will do terrifying things. I promise you.
We will use a piece of cloth to move it around. We cannot leave it to clutter the entrance after all.
That'll have to do. Am I allowed to smoke in here?
There is no smoking law, and yes, you are allowed to smoke. I'm like,
Alright, so
do they care about smoking? No, they don't. But the bong is a
So-
weapon.
So Shafnium pulls out a blunt and he starts lighting it and walks through.
Alright.
No weapons.
So, your, but, Donner,
Yes.
Fanda is, the paladins look at you,
Oh
and
god.
they're like, the elemental cannot come inside.
Oh, well. I walk over to Donner. Give him to me. I will wait outside with our stuff.
No, I'll stay outside.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're down our cleric and our sorcerer.
I mean,
No,
I could, if you want to, Donner, I could, magic up a companion / guard for him. I've got conjure animals.
Well, one of the two paladins looks at you and goes, "Why would you bother with that? A chained, a shackled elemental has no risk."
Yes, but that's a slave.
Ah,
Slavery.
How is a dog not a slave then? Though it was a collar.
They're
It
not
is.
smart enough.
Are they not?
Yes, they're idiots. You leave them alone and they just sit and pant for an hour.
So what you're
And then
saying
they-
is, so what you're saying is, Hero Paladin, that as long as it's less sentient than you, then it's okay to enslave it.
Let us not make of this semantics. I am just mentioning that if you do not wish to shackle it, it is a danger. For it can do whatever it wants and maybe even hurt the people of a city. And as such, it is my duty to ensure it does not.
He's
You're
a
a
baby.
you're a
And
bitch.
he's no. Okay, Tess, calm down a little bit. It's a
Come on, we
baby,
can't
and
start a
I
fight
was
with
just
the guard.
going
Yeah, okay,
to
I'm gonna.
a little companion, a little babysitter.
It will be on your heads. And should anything happen, its age will not be its defense.
Okay, well, you guys are dumb. So anyway, I'm gonna wait outside.
Okay,
That is an acceptable compromise.
I give the hill to Donner then, if that's the case. Because, you know,
You both,
Oh,
both
okay.
Honor and Hess waiting outside then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so Donner and Hess are waiting outside. Everyone else steps inside. And inside you see this large hall. At the very end there is an altar to Abadar. And Abadar's favorite weapon, by the way, is the crossbow. As the crossbowmen on the floors above apparently show. No, they are not threatening, but they do all keep an eye out on the people walking downwards. You have a feeling that should anything go on, there could be a good dozen or more bolts sent your way. With that being said, there is a neat set of lines and rich people standing there looking bored and being like, so, when will I get my gold? I need to pay for the staff expenses. And one of the guy behind the till answers, oh, don't worry, Lord Kunprabar. We will have your gold ready immediately. Just please wait a few moments and everything will be alright. There is a couple of half-elves standing behind a desk in the very center of the hall. And they look at you and are like, if you need any help, please feel free to ask questions.
Where do we get a license to sell chicken meat, like cooked meat?
Cooked meat? Well, is it chicken or is it fish? Or is it red meat?
I think we said chicken, didn't we?
Chicken.
Is it game? Are you hunting the chicken or are you buying it and then cooking it?
Buying and cooking.
So it's post-processing, production, blah blah. They talk to one another a bit. Are there any spices of exotic nature in the meat of a chicken?
Yes, that's the main selling point.
Yeah.
Alright, so then it's exotic products. Yeah, then it's luxury good. Yeah, if it's a luxury good then. So, you need to go and get form B7 gold plated from the till number 7X. Bring it all the way up to the third floor and get the custom stamp 3A. Then you can bring the 3A to the B2 and get your license.
What? Again?
he
Yeah,
wants
you run that by
form
me.
4B,
Bureaucracy.
get 3A, and then go to B2. Oh, there we go.
Ravi's got it.
Okay.
So-
Ravi, lead us.
Yeah.
Valiantly!
So, you had...
Nice.
this is kind of a callback to a very famous movie. I'm going to wait until you realize which one it is.
That's the thing. I try to remember it. I know this shit. That's why I recalled immediately. But I can't remember the movie's title.
So, You head up to the office, and as you step inside, you see that there's a small line. You wait a bit, and then it's finally your turn. What do you ask?
Okay. Ask for a form
What form?
4D.
You...
Plated, something?
We have no 4D gold-plated form, sir. You must be in the wrong place. The 4D form can be found on the 5th floor.
Is the 4D form the one for luxury item?
Well, technically it's the form to allow for permission to have a public space in the market, I would guess.
Okay.
Or is that the 8Z? Because maybe it's the 8Z. Do you want to sell in front of a cemetery also, or holy places of worship?
Just the market?
Which market? Is it the market with the old abbey? It's still technically a place of worship. But there's no old abbey here, is there? No, there's an abbey on the other side of the...
I don't know.
Miss, you look a bit worried. Should,
I grew up in the mountains.
So anyway, you... you grind through the democratically bureaucratic process.
5 hours later.
And meanwhile, Hess and Donner outside see the sun start to dip over the horizon. By the time you free step outside, holding the correct form and license, your eyes have seen the vastity of unholy things which you no longer wish to see.
Man, fuck this place.
Also, and as you leave, the guy who actually gave you first, remember, you have to show back in 6 months to renew it.
Okay.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
Yeah.
GM, can we at least say that we got a good layout of the place during those 5 hours?
You did, though it's only the public side of it. So you saw all of the public offices and people and...
Where the bank is.
well, actually, you didn't see where the vault was, because you always had to go upwards or in the upper floor. So you have a feeling of where it's not, so you kind of think it must be in the lower floors.
But it's wizards. So they could probably just put it wherever they wanted.
Could be. Like, it could be in a bathroom for all you know, but... with that being said, though, as you step outside with your form and everything, you see a lot of time has passed. By the way, the movie in question was Asterix and Obelix and the fatigues of...
Oh, right.
I was actually thinking The Incredibles when he was talking to the old lady about...
No, that would have been more pedantic, like only one person, and it would have been like, so, hello!
Okay.
Which movie was it?
Asterix and Obelix, the Hercules jobs.
The 12 tasks.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes, shit. I really, when I was little, that's why.
With that being said, you have your license. You step outside and everything is exactly where you left it. Where to next, brave adventurers whose stomach is growling like hungry, famished?
Dinner time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say me.
Yeah.
So, you go to the Demon and Cook. Huh?
Yeah.
So, the Demon and Cook is a pretty tavern. It's pristine, clean. It's quite... it's quite... well, it's late, so you see that they've got candles and lanterns outside to pretty it up. And there's a motherfucking sphinx sitting inside.
Wait, motherfucking what?
There's a sphinx sitting... Sphinx
Sphinx.
inside. And there are tables, there are patrons eating easily and without fault, and the Sphinx standing in a corner of an inn, overlooking everyone with its enigmatic gaze and smile.
Okay. I mean, I just ignore everything and go to a bar to eat.
So the bartender looks at you and says, "No debt. Do you have a gold?"
We have silver.
"That's fine. What do you want?"
Get me 3 tankards of mead, please, or like a giant, or like a casket of them.
"Sure. That's fine. Anything else?"
Do you know where I could find some naive and impressionable young people?
"I wonder what you would need with them."
Don't ask questions. Just answer the question.
Well, that's an interesting question. Naive youngsters?
Yeah,
Well,
very impressionable, or people you think might fall for like a pyramid scheme or like scams.
I have no idea. I mean, what is a pyramid scheme anyway? Is it like where you build a pyramid? Like, "Oi, Jindra!" And as he says that, the Sphinx looks at him. "Is a pyramid scheme something where you build a pyramid?"
I
And
prefer to think of it as a pyramid.
I mean, technically, yes. Anything involving the building of a pyramid would be a scheme.
the Sphinx actually looks back at him and goes, "I don't think that's what she means, silly man."
You're at least half chicken.
The Sphinx looks at you and goes, "You should be lucky you have too little meat on your bones to even be considered tasty."
Oh, yes, of course, honored one. If you wish to eat me, go right ahead. It would be my pleasure to serve your chickenness.
Like, the Sphinx looks at you. You cannot understand if she's angry or happy or whatever. She's like, "You are a strange one. Are you sure you do not simply seek others like yourselves?"
Yes, no, that's exactly what I am. Back at the main temple, Elder Martin called me, behind my back, of course, young, impressionable, incredibly stupid, and perfect material for conversion.
"I see. You have lived a sad life, I guess."
What? No, I've lived an awesome life.
But anyway, the bartender looks at you and goes, "So, 3 tankards of mead, that will be 12 silver coins."
Also, like, meat. That is.
Yeah. Would you like, so, we have a choice. You can have steamed phoenix, steamed chicken, roasted dragon, braised hare, or boiled pork.
Roasted dragon.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I thought.
Roasted
Sorry.
dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not actually dragon meat. It's,
No.
What's the second one?
steamed phoenix.
Let his imagination say
No, the one after that.
Well, the steamed phoenix, steamed chicken, and it's steamed chicken and poached eggs. We like to call it the mother and child combo. You know, it's always the ancient question: what came first, the chicken or the eggs? And we decided, why not both?
Neither came first.
Get ready to hold
Glorious
us back.
God, cluck, came first.
But then, is your god a chicken or an egg?
I think this is like one of those
hear it
holy
tea kettle,
trinity.
like
Yeah, I watched this vein pop up in his skin and just pulsing.
Yeah, no, but seriously, like, the bartender looks at you. Is your god a chicken or an egg?
I'm gonna kill him. She fucking lunges at him.
Please,
No,
can we
no.
get our drink and food first before you attempt anything?
Shaft is actively trying to hold her back. Not today! Not today!
I hand over the silver, by the way.
Alright. Then the bartender looks at everyone else and goes, "Well, what do I bring you over instead?" Nobody else?
I mean, I just thought it was
I ordered dragon.
Yeah. So it's 4 silver coins.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'll have some of the Phoenix.
Perfect. And what about Ravandil?
I said also dragon, I think.
Alright. Donner?
Oh, I already said Phoenix.
Phoenix. So wait, who am I waiting? Hesse?
Tess is too angry.
Like she's frothing from the mouth. The guy looks.
Have a water.
If you want, I mean, if you want, we have fish also.
Yes, fish is good.
So smoked shrimp and bitter cheese.
Cheese is also good.
Good. Then that it will be. So find a seat and I'll bring the food shortly. By the way, Aquajar, have you come to settle the debt?
Oh,
Hess looks confused at Shafnium. Wait, your last name is Aquajar? That's
Water jug.
oh no.
Well, I'm in the middle of clearing that debt at the moment. I'm acquiring the funds as we speak.
My mom once knew someone named Aquajar.
I'm sure she did, honey. I'm sure she did.
Probably unrelated.
Well, if you don't want to settle the debt, you can at least close the damn portal you opened in the cellar.
Okay.
I'm tired of fighting off cannibalistic monkeys.
Let's go to the cellar.
Yeah.
Boss, is the monkeys the dragon, or is the monkeys the... What was the other one?
You don't want to know.
Okay. It's one of them, though.
So, don't you want to eat first before going down into the cellar?
Oh, Paws is
Yeah, all right, let's
I'll
have food
wait
first.
for drinks and
Let's
food.
munch on some numbers.
So, as
Things are going full circle. We go into an inn, we go into the cellar, we go through horrifying things, we leave, and then we come back and we're still
Do
in
it
the
all
inn.
again.
well, wait, you still have to make the temple explode, but that will come later, I guess.
Yeah.
We're gonna go
Swap.
back to the temple, so you know.
Maybe this time things will go differently. You will explode the inn and go in the underground of a temple and find something horrifying.
Maybe.
Or maybe both.
Yeah.
Or both in other temple.
Let's take a corner table where hopefully the noise of the rest of the place will drown out what we're talking about, and no one else will look at us like we're crazy, even though we are.
I mean, yeah. No, not one of us is a logical person.
Uh-huh.
In all fairness, Shafnium has come up with 100% working plans.
Yeah.
So-
Insane plans.
During the
Anything is stupid.
boring
Yes?
5 hours in the bank, I guess. Can we just say that we've got good places to plant bombs?
Well, for the upper floors, probably. Well, give me an intelligence check.
Ah. Intelligence. Just straight up intelligence.
Yeah,
check?
yeah.
Okay.
Once upon a time there was intelligence dungeon, and I would have allowed, but there's no more dungeony. Alright, yeah, no. You know there are some places, yeah, Shafnium knows perfectly well how to be a small little terrorist, so just,
Of course. Knew we could count on you, Shaf.
he has seen the perfect places to make the entire thing just crumble down with the least amount of explosive. It's still going to take some explosive, but you can probably make it do with less than normal amount.
Would you say that I have a solid idea of, like, I could make a blueprint of the floors that we went through, roughly?
Well, you can make a blueprint of the floors, of the places you have walked into, and you can kind of know that, for example, there might be 2 or 3 rooms in the places you have not explored.
Okay, alright.
So, with
I
that
have
being,
a plan.
Smash.
We are going to hold a failed bank heist. And we're going to pin it
Why?
on the cult. we're going to make a fake bank heist that fails to specifically to make the cult look like idiots.
Please, but this is getting like fucking. Fuck. What is this, dude? This is Inception's level of plans.
That's like, and why is there nobody going like, Shafnium, you have a problem. Not everything is the cult's fault.
Yeah,
I mean, name,
At
name
this point,
one bad
Paws is
thing that has
totally-
happened to us that hasn't been involved somehow with this fucking cult. Name
Paws
one
is
bad thing.
totally convinced that everything is the cult's fault.
Well,
Everything.
I have
It's
one.
all
My
them.
mom hated me, and she wasn't the cult.
Wait, you what?
That you know of.
maybe she was.
Maybe she was either a member or she was poisoned and made to hate you over time.
Or she just hated you. I mean,
Or
who
she
would
just
really?
fucking hated you because you're a fucking loser, Rabby.
I'm a loser. You're a loser.
So, as you are eating, drinking, and talking, you realize there's a shadow that's being cast over your table.
Oh, god damn it.
I just grab the fork and stab my shadow. If it's you, you fucking dark father, get the fuck away. I'm not
So,
doing that.
the shadow is cast over your table.
Oh god.
But it's not the dark. It's not the dark father. Don't worry.
God.
I'm just wait. That's the time I'm priming you. Whenever you hear the music, you think it's him, but it's not him. So the Sphinx
Yeah.
that was in the corner is now standing over you and looking and going. So Shafnium, didn't think it was nice to say hello to me?
Oh my god,
damn
Sam!
it.
Did you think? Did you think I would just allow you to ignore me?
Alright, listen, I'm in a different place at the moment. And I'm sure we have plenty of time to catch up. I've had a long, long day at the bank.
I see. Then I suppose you don't care about the wonderful brush you left me with.
Brush?
Yes, you know, that boomerang-shaped piece of yours.
Oh,
Oh.
a piece of their scalp.
Okay, I pull out a bowl. I light it. Take a deep breath. And I exhale. Okay, yes, I want it. How much do you want for it?
It's not a matter of money, Chef. You broke my heart. And you annoyed me so much with your impossible riddles that actually had no solutions. But you may have fooled me once, but I will not allow you to fool me again. But, again, I am a woman of the world and I am a civilized being. And the more I keep on seeing that stupid brush, the more I am reminded of you. So, I give it back to you. On one account and one account only. That you finally fucking grow up and take responsibility for what you did.
What did I do?
You you have the goals to ask what you did? Don't you
I have black
remember?
trunk. No, I don't remember anything from the last 100 years. I've been looking around and seeing some pretty awful shit. You're gonna have to tell me.
So not only did you break my heart, you come back like a coward, like you always were, coming up with decideful lies about you forgetting everything you did and thinking this
They
would
can
be
vouch
it.
for this. Like every single person in this group can vouch for me. Hess, you have zone of truth. You could cast it on me, and I'd be able to say it straight up. No weasel words, no snake oil.
I suppose I could. Yes.
Do it. Just do it, Hash.
Zone of truth.
Paws is
I-
just munching on food.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything from the last 100 years except things that are terrifying and awful that I'm finding out now.
Well then, I will tell you what you did, so that you may feel shame and horror and finally take responsibility. You fucked my sister, and you stole
Your heart?
from us, and you walked away in the night like a coward and a thief, and
I mean, if I stole from you, then by definition I was a thief, and if I was running away, then...
are you even trying to justify yourself? Even now, so be quiet and take it like a man.
Holy shit.
She keeps blattering crime after crime, so to speak. Most of those aren't that bad. It's like stealing the covers, just eating all the food in the pantry, or stuff like that. Others are a bit worse, like selling off the last memory of her mother to buying more drugs and using them as a way to escape reality for who knows what reason. But
In a bad spot.
at the end, there's one thing she says that catches everyone's attention. And I never forgave you for falling in with that damn crowd of evil cultists and showing them where the path that led to the Eldritch Down was.
Oh,
Spits out his popcorn.
What?
God.
Okay,
Damn it.
so Shaft really fucked up again.
No, this is like the ultimate fuck up.
Then
I'm the reason the cult exists.
she takes something out of her fur, which is the boomerang-shaped part of the nurse scalpel, and throws it on the table. You can have it back now. Let's see how your friends take all of the filth that you are and deal with it. Puff! Then she turns away and walks off.
I just look at Shafnium, I drink his mug, I put it down, and I say, I want to say with all my heart that I'm surprised. I really do. But I'm not. I am absolutely not. And I just drain my mug as well. I'm done.
I mean, I didn't murder anyone this time. For what it's worth.
Are you sure? You're not seeing the full picture, I guess.
I'm
Paws is
I'm
not
trying not to, but it's not working.
Huh. Well, I believe in you. You can do
Yeah, this is...
You've done evil, but, you know, you can do good too. You can follow the one true God. But more importantly, well, less importantly, because, you know, it's Cluck. You now know what you did wrong, and you can do good.
I just realized Paws will remember this. I just saw. I was like, Paws is still writing. No, Paws will remember this.
And she's like,
I mean,
I'm willing to bet that you will do the right thing.
you just showed them the way. It's not like you dragged a knife across all of Poe's family. You just showed them where to go. They were lost travelers.
oh no.
Paws is totally quiet throughout everything. Like the moment the Sphinx talked about the Eldritch Down.
And I lean in closer to Shafnium. You really shouldn't have sex with God's messengers.
But they're so hot.
Yeah, but you still shouldn't fuck them. Trust me, I've thought about it too, but, you know.
Galileo kind of clocks and goes like, no?
Funda is a child.
Why Fanda? Galileo is a chicken.
Galileo.
Maybe.
And Galileo just clocks and goes, never in 1,000 years. I have standards.
Holy shit.
Anyways, is the Sphinx still there?
Well, the Sphinx is back in her corner. She feels quite relieved about having just vented off, and there's Nurse Scalpel's boomerang piece standing there on the table. glimmering softly.
I want to take it. I want to make Nurse Scalpel whole again,
Well, it's there.
but this isn't the right way to do it. So I take the boomerang, I walk over to the Sphinx, and I offer the piece back to her. I haven't earned this yet.
Well, you might not have earned it, but it's not my choice on whether to give it back to you or not. She looks towards your table and sees Paws, who's looking positively miserable, with I think her ears like flat down, like typical beaten cat.
No, in this case, Paws is just like Paws is a neutral face. There is absolutely nothing showing.
Well, but still, the Sphinx knows more. And I think it's somebody else who'll have to determine whether you've earned it or not. Not me. I'm done. I'm happy. I've vented off everything I felt, and now I can start looking forward to my future again. Though if I were you, I would check your past.
Hold on. I think I might have something for this. I need to get my hand on 250 gold for this, but
What do you plan
probably
to do?
I'm gonna use the spell Legend Lore on Shafnium.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we have a whole list of drunken vendors that he can't remember.
Well,
Have a spell called Legend Lore.
technically, you do, but so has the Sphinx. Just in case, I'm just telling you, the Sphinx has a legend lore.
Oh yeah, but like I can get it with a long rest too, so you know.
Yeah,
Legend lore?
Yeah,
What
it's a
is it?
spell. It's basically like just the DM exposition spell.
yeah, it's basically brings to mind a brief summary of a significant lore about the thing mentioned. Current tales, forgotten stories, or secret lore that has never been widely known. But if a thing named, yeah, but careful, if a thing named has not legendary importance, there's no information.
I find it hard to believe that I wouldn't have some kind of legendary importance, considering I'm responsible for a cult that's taking down city after city.
They might have information on the cult if you use legend lore, but it must be a person, a place, or an object.
Alright?
It can't be like a group.
Yeah, okay.
Person, place, or object.
Yes, and notice the incense is 250, but you also need 4 ivory strips worth 50 gold coins each, so it's a total of 450.
Ugh. Money.
Yep.
Let's leave it for when we rob the bank or some other dragon take its shit.
So,
I sit down next to Paws, and I look at her.
I
Listen.
stand up, and I actually head over to where the Phoenix,
the Sphinx.
to the Sphinx. Let's just say that I ask questions of whether she knows about what the cult did there, or like the people who lived around there.
You mean of a city?
Mm-hmm.
Just a moment, cause I'm blah blah blah. All right. So the cult. I don't know much about it. It was decades ago. They were in this tavern, this very tavern, looking for a way into Eldritch Town, and all that they knew was that the tribe of the Tabaxi knew the way, because they used to spend the summers up in the mountains as guides. So, they were asking about it, but I didn't trust them. They looked skeevy. But, you know, after a couple of beers, some drugs being given around, your friend, your partner, your colleague in adventuring was all too willing to tell them how to reach the place in question and find, I think, your tribe.
Right? Thinking.
It's well, if it can console you, though I think there's nothing that could console you. He wasn't fully in possession of his mental faculties, which I think was part of the problem.
Yeah,
But hey,
definitely.
to everyone his life.
Can I rent a room, please?
Well, the bartender does have rooms to rent.
Yeah.
Do you want, well, do you want a private room to just sleep, or do you want, or is it or would a shared room be fine also?
A private room for me. I cannot look at the rest of them.
So then it would be, just give me a second, 5 silver.
Okay. I hand over 5 silver.
Alright, he gives you a key to a room, upper floor, second to the right.
And Paws is out.
Alright.
Yeah.
And poses slowly and quietly makes her way upstairs and disappears from sight.
Shafnium looks at Hess.
I hope
Listen.
you guys have gold and silver to like stay somewhere. Oh god.
Oh shit, right.
So
Okay.
Shafnium looks at Hess and he says, I need advice. Not from you,
Oh.
but from someone maybe that you know.
Oh, well, thanks.
Do you know anyone who is just who can just tell me the absolute hard fucking truth of life? Anyone at all?
Well, the scriptures is pretty good, but I did meet someone I think you might be interested in. He was a bit of a madman, I suppose. He spoke in a lot of riddles, but I think he might be able to help you.
Can you show me to him?
Sure. We can ask around for him.
You're asking about the immortal madman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's kind of easy to find if you go looking for him, because everyone pretty much points you in his direction. He's sitting in a corner of a street, laughing at a puddle.
Okay, so I walk up to the guy. First I ask, Hess, is this the guy?
Yes, he is
Okay.
very confusing, and also gave me a bit of...
Hey there, chicken eater, how's it going?
You shut your whore mouth!
You liked the taste of your mother on your lips? No? Well, the more the pity, I guess.
So Shafnium, he walks up to the guy and looks him up and down. You're the immortal.
Yep, I am. Well, I'd like not to be, but I end up being, and I'm in a pillory, and the pillory sucks as hell. But what can I tell you? What can I say? This is life, and it's shit. Life's always been shit.
May I
As it
ask
turns
you a
out.
question?
I'm here. You already did ask me a question. So make that 2 questions. But then the second question would be if I could have a third question. So just ask the questions and maybe we'll know an answer to it. Or maybe it's
Am
just
I-
a chihuahua.
Am I a good person?
Now that's a hell of a question. Fuck. Who the hell knows? Have you tried asking a devil if he's a good person? Maybe he'd say yes. Or an angel might be really mean. I mean, fuck. They go around with flaming swords, killing heretics. What if heretics are families? I mean, chickens are tasty. I'd eat a whole lot of raw chicken. But then, do you think I'd not be evil in the eyes of, what's her name again? Mess? Chess?
Just fuck you, alright?
No, I'm sorry, you're too young. I want them old and creaky, with bones and wrinkled skin and Like chicken skin. I love myself some chicken skin.
Hess, I found your friend's boyfriend.
Don't even joke about that.
Who says I'm joking?
But anyway, you shouldn't let others decide for yourself, but, if you're asking the question, I guess you're feeling guilty about something, and if you're feeling guilty, then that means you're not evil. Because, again, doesn't mean you're good, doesn't mean you're bad, but guilt isn't a skill that evil people truly believe in. After all, if you've done no evil, you never feel guilty about it.
Alright.
Good. Not a problem. Just remember to hit low under the belt. And when in doubt, do not fuck the dragon.
I can abide by the first piece of advice, but I'm afraid...
You should definitively abide by the second. Trust me. She bites. A lot.
Yeah. But I like that kind of action.
Good to hear, son. Good to hear. Now go and give me more grandchildren.
I'm sorry,
what?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my god!
Okay. Meanwhile, Ravandil, who's still in the inn, is like, now I need to drink even more. And he gives a task at the office.
Shaft maybe manages to walk about 30 feet with a smile on his face before he just starts screaming.
As you're screaming, does around you, does the entire thing become like a painting of the scream from Monk?
That's accurate.
He might have done it in the endearing sense. He might not really be your father.
Might.
Yeah, that's a big might.
Fuck, that means that if we do the whole legend thing, odds are more than excellent that I'd be this guy's fucking kid.
Ah, guy. Which means
That's
your
such-
mom is a dragon.
That's such a turnaround, though. Usually we're finding out that you're someone else's father.
Oh god! This feels awful! This immediately!
Actually, he's the guy.
I
from
should
America.
invent magic condoms!
Actually, wait, was the guy an elf or a human?
It's not known, because it could be anything. Some say he changes race after every 30 years, while still being trapped in his pillory.
Oh no. Oh no.
But anyway, as so you're still in drinking, Ravandil,
Yes.
and you're pretty much no. Who's with him? Donner, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Donald.
still there.
So, as you two are drinking in the inn, somebody steps inside, looks around a bit, and then sees Ravandil and comes to a halt near him. Hey there, brother. Everything going all right tonight? And
What is it with these bombshells?
and he extends a hand towards Ravandil to clasp it.
Oh wait, maybe it's the brother meant in the bro sense.
Yes, in the bro sense. Ravandil, you see the innkeeper from,
Oh, right.
and he's looking at you. And he's like, so, did you meet with, he looks towards Donner, and then back to you. So, did you meet with, big old mama?
Oh yeah, lovely conversation where she, you know, took all my money and then smacked me.
Well, it's obvious she was going to take all of your money, but did you ask her to help you? I mean, you did a great service for us. She would have, at the very least, depending on how you worded it, or she might have eaten you alive. It's one or the other, with her.
Oh, you know, I was a bit too angry because all my money got stolen, so I didn't think.
Well, listen, I understand. So you know what? I'm going to give you your money back. Because, I mean, you did us such a great service helping us, and we could use your help again. So,
Huh?
Yeah, okay.
so,
Isn't it like 30 platinum? That's like a small.
Normally, I would say I'm too suspicious, but considering I'm drinking right now, I'm like, yeah.
well then, listen, see you later not tonight because it's too early, but I'll find you, don't worry. And when I do, I'll show you around with the others, and there's lots of money to be made, don't you worry. But anyway, he looks around a bit. I'm not seeing the guy I was meant to meet tonight. Well, if he's not here, I guess he didn't make it. A pity. See you. And then he starts to walk away.
Ooh, I have my money back. Nice. Yay!
What was that he said about not meeting somebody?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's working with Mally.
Yeah, so Donner, you were present as the two guys spoke. So you saw the innkeeper and everything, and you don't know why, but the words of the druid kind of come back to you. Just,
But I'm just thinking.
Sorry, who else is still down here?
It's just you two, if I know, because again, Hess went with Shaf because they know those two were together. Paws went upstairs, so it's just you and him, and Funda, of course.
And Funda, yeah. So, okay, I'm realizing he's probably worked with Mally, probably knows something more about the cult. I'm gonna do a very bad decision of trying to follow him.
Wait, so you stand up and you decide to follow the guy out of the inn.
Yeah. I am going to use sorcery points and invisibility, though, or greater invisibility.
So wait, the thing is, you're sitting at the table with Ravandil in front of you.
Yeah.
So you stand up, get invisible, and Ravandil doesn't know where you are, and then you go.
Sorry. No,
No, wait, Shade. I know what he is. I have seen this ability.
Yeah, but I don't think that.
Now the question is, so Donner, you've just seen someone who pretty much clearly worked with something and helped Ravandil along, and if you think he belongs to the cult, then it means you think that Ravandil just shook the hand of a
I'm just
cultist.
following that. Okay, the question is, how much do I trust Ravandil?
Yeah, that's the question. Ravandil, the utter disappointment who's been with you all this time and has failed multiple times.
Oh boy.
Nobody can be that much of a fuck up. It has to
Yes!
be intentional.
And the druid's word, where even the friends turned against one another. Could it be?
If he's such a fuck up, then he must be like easy to convince so that he can get help and stuff, right?
And he
So
might
that he can
be
get glory.
confused.
Yeah. And at the same time, they did all this in front of me, which, it just implies a certain,
Casual.
yeah.
Could be. Could be that perhaps it was nothing illegal. Maybe you're seeing cultists everywhere.
No, if H.P. Lovecraft that taught me anything, it's that you can never be too paranoid. So fucking.
Look, the first and only lesson of a Lovecraft club is if something screams in the night, throw dynamite and leave.
Pretty accurate.
And if you do not have dynamite, steal a tank.
And if gun don't work, use more gun.
There is never enough Daka.
How
But
about the gun that you suggest?
anyway, Donner, what do you do?
Okay, no, I'm going to give Ravandil a chance to explain. But I will, like, put my hand on him, kind of do like a low-level shocking grasp, not to actually shock him, but just to be like, I will shock you as soon as something.
So it's basically you prepare a spell and you hold it in your hand like lightning bolt, and you're like, if you lie to me, I will skewer you with a lightning bolt, kind of like
Yeah.
that. So
But
yeah,
explain quickly.
Ravandil, well, you see that again. Donner has magic in his hand, arches of electricity, and is pointing his hand at you, and he's asking you a question.
Oh yeah, I just look at him like, are you threatening me?
Yes.
God.
Oh.
You didn't realize.
And then Red Like Roses plays in the background. Oh yeah, that was a really good reference. Anyway, so I just like, you know that I have sword, right? And I like I put a shield right in his stomach. I'm like, if I activate a shield, I will cure you. So lower the hand, go back to your seat, and we'll explain this like rational elves.
But Ravi, you're not a rational adult.
Wait, what?
Ravi, you're not a rational adult.
Exactly. But I'm too drunk right now to care.
God, you gotta have a lot of fucking ale to get drunk as a high elf.
Actually, yeah. How much do they have? I think everybody must order a casket.
Well, Donner, you heard his reply. What do you do?
No, I think I need more assurance than that. Look, he
No, you
obviously is working with Mally. Mally is obviously working with the cult. You were working with him. Explain. And I think I'd rather do it while you were within shocking grasp distance.
Alright, fine. And I basically go ahead and explain everything, like the giant contract and why I did that.
Ah.
That's why. Now, can you please get your hand on?
So, wait. So basically, what you tell him is that the innkeeper of the village you visited before, the one under the thumb of Sire, the giant, hired you to kill the storm giant because he thought, as you were a half dragon like him, you were interested in joining them.
Wait. What?
That's what you're telling him. Or not. Like, I need to know what you're telling him and what you're not telling him.
Like, you can't just say, I say this to the NPC to other player characters.
Because then I need to know what you did tell him and what you didn't, so I can add context to it.
Basically, the first half you're right. I did tell him the guy hired me to kill the giant, but mostly because he told me to help him with. And then I very discreetly showed him my skills. I mean, you guys don't know me how to dragon, correct?
I think they didn't. But,
Yeah.
but now Donor kind of does, if you tell him.
Okay.
So I told him he was having my problem, and I showed him the sleeve. And then he was all like, I should meet the dragon, and you know the dragon. But apparently he forgot to tell me that red dragons have blue. And that the fucking quirk. And then he said something about, fuck, what was her name again? Tiamat, I think?
Shespera?
Yeah, actually he said something about dragon.
Yeah, well, the Dragon Queen is the Dragon Queen is Tiamat, but and Shespera is is an elder dragon, but yes.
Yeah, basically. So that's why I tell him, not that I wanted to join. Like, she's.
Well,
But yeah.
Okay, should I roll for how much I believe him?
well, actually, it should. It depends. Technically, it's an insight check. Well, it's you just don't need to fail it. So just give me any above 5.
Okay.
Like,
Let's, well, I have a +5, so.
yeah, no, you believe him. He's pretty much honest about it. About how much of a useless fuck up he is, how much he fails at anything he does, and he doesn't want to be there. Why does his mother not love him?
All right. I sit back down. Uh, uh, okay. We probably should figure out what the dragon is going to be doing for the cult, though. That might be something that will bite us if we don't.
I think we should gather the others first, but
Yeah, and he's probably long gone.
Yeah, as you sit back down and you see that Ravandil just finishes his beer, the doors open back up, and Shafnium and Hess return.
here it is. Oh, yeah.
Hello. Where's Kai? Well, not sorry. Where's Paws? Fuck.
Oh, wow, that is
Sorry,
some
guys.
impressive roleplay action.
You know where I am. You know where I am. You guys watched. You guys were there.
So you guys watched.
Oh, they
Someone
did.
should-
Stood and stared.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Everyone else was busy eating while I had my breakdown.
Yeah, so I'm like basically for a bit drunk. I'm like, someone should go
So,
shoot the kitty.
Sorry, what did you say?
So someone should go.
someone should go soothe the kitty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking third world Wi-Fi.
Well,
all right. I will go upstairs and talk to Paws. You explain what just happened.
Okay. And then this might be my hat to like the.
so basically, as Ravandil explains again what happened, unless well,
Changing the story?
from one to another, but I don't think you are. I would hope. So, as Ravandil explains the story to Hess and Shafnium, Donner goes upstairs to talk with Paws. So, the thing is, you saw her go upstairs, you don't know which room she's in.
I'll go back downstairs to ask the tavern keep.
The tavern keep looks at you and goes, well, the cat lady, right? Second room to the right.
All right. Go up and knock on the door.
Paws, you hear knocking.
Okay, I opened the door.
So the door opens and Donner, you see Paws in front of you.
Yes.
Ravi screwed up again.
So.
So, where's the news?
Can it wait until morning?
We might have to. If we might have a lead on the cult, so no.
Fucking fine. Right, I head down. I get my stuff. Put my armor back on because I'd actually gotten ready to go to bed. And then head down.
So, everyone's downstairs. Yeah, after 10 minutes, everyone's downstairs. Ravandil, you explain for the third time what you did to Paws, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, can we just get over with?
There are basically people around just listening on to Ravandil telling the story and writing it down. With like, we're going to make a ballad out of this. The fucking up elf and the things he fucked up.
Joy.
Yay.
Okay, so then I'm like, now the gangs together, what's the blood?
Are you telling? Wait, the guy has already left, right? We have no way to track him.
No. He said he would talk to me tomorrow.
This can wait until tomorrow. I go back upstairs. It can wait until tomorrow. Just have a sleep. Just go to bed. I thought that we were gonna get things ready. I thought that we had like a clue.
Well, you get to hear Ravandil's fucked up events again. So-
Yeah, Paws just sighs. We can deal with this tomorrow. Goes back up and sleeps. Actually proper sleeps.
So, anything else you want to do, or do you find rooms for the night and the next morning everything will look better for some people and
Okay.
worse for others?
I guess we're gonna have to do it like that.
Alright, so it's nearly 6, so we'll finish it here for today. And
Okay,
next
we
week,
don't waste time.
next week it's going to be another fascinating adventure. As you went to the Demon and Cook. Just remember, if you want to know more about the past of Shafnium, you still have Beorter's clocks to go to. Let's see if I can up the ante next week and make other people discover horrifying truths and whatnot.
About Shafnium.
I mean, there's also Paws' backstory here.
Yep.
I mean, so far all the elves are fuck-ups.
Now, I mean, it's going to be better. The important thing is to, power through and find true bonds of friendship.
Sure.
Like, when we go to steal the bank, it's gonna be like a note that said, the friendship was the true treasure all along.
That's a great idea.
Oh no.
Thank you, thank you, Ravi. That will make it.
I know it's easy to mix us up, but just remember, Ravi's the alcoholic.
Yeah, you're an alcoholic. I was perfectly normal.
You're right.